human being was given a spirit of ownership and possession by God. Every time you saw something, it looks like you are emptying. Yet you are investing into the soil. Hunters are stingy people. And this is the weakness of Africa. We want to receive, every time receiving. Any church that does not avail ground for you to sow seed, that church is actually destining you into poverty. There is nothing on earth you can get in abundance without using the seed principle. African churches, they operate by receiving. And anytime you become a hunter, you become a servant of the farmer. In Africa, for a person to be a president, they have to know how to beg. Kings are put on the throne to run nations and produce. But kings nowadays in Africa, they come on the throne for them to help their people to source for things. Africa is a land of gold. It's flowing with milk and honey. We are so rich in everything, yet we don't know spiritual farming. So you see, it is affecting us a lot in our day-to-day life, this hunting spirit. To tell the truth, kings are put on the throne to run nations and produce. But kings nowadays in Africa, they come on the throne for them to help their people to source for things. Presidents in Africa are always moving. The traveling budget, it's high in Africa of our kings here. Why? Because they are moving from continent to continent, nation to nation. Please, my people are suffering. And we say, let's vote for them because they are good. And we vote with a mindset for them to go and what? And beg for us. So we are bound from top to bottom, from the eldest to the least. We need deliverance. Once an African man sees someone counting money, they want to ask. When they just hear there is a nation like this that is now prospering, they are there to ask for money. We have gold here. We have got diamond here in Africa. Please come in the mine. Come in the mine. Bring money. Bring money. Bring. We want to receive. We want to receive. I want you to learn as a youth today to think of something to do in order to start giving. From today, I want you to start to plan on how you are going to produce, because farming has to do with the breeding and producing. Hunting has to do with a lot of stinginess, because you have to chase for anything that you want. You have to search, you have to chase animals in the bush to get something. But farming, you have to plan. Produce and breeding and multiplying things around your house. Multiplying money around your house. When you know this principle, you will know how to generate things and multiply things. Whenever you get money in a business, that is a harvest. There is seed inside that business. You don't go and start looking for girlfriends to give them money. You get poverty. Our fathers here, once they get a lot of money, once they get business, they start moving moving around, getting wives, and they become polygamists. One wife, they are renting a house for another wife, 10 wives. Very rare to see a rich African man married to one woman. It's a spirit of which wants you to go back to a life of hand to mouth again. Because now, imagine, for you to prosper, you now have got 10 wives, all of them with 10 children each. Who wants to go to school, and yet you are saying you are rich? No, you are poor. Because all your money is now going to support 10 children, each in 10 of your wives' houses. How many children? 100. And you need combis for those children. For you to take them to town, you must buy a combi for a house. And now the stress of keeping one wife. What about 10? Some are struggling to keep one wife. And then we give you 10. Now they can't go now to work because they are now full of stress now. Was when they go to first wife, stress. Second wife, stress. Third wife, stress. Fourth wife, stress. 10th, by the 10th wife, BP, and they die early. And leave children with debts. The only inheritance a hunter can leave for you, it's a nobukeri and a spear. And almost every African family which has a father that died, the eldest son or the firstborn will be having chimbo nepfumo that the father left. Why? It's a spirit. Some of you have got spears in your houses. That and no bukeries that your fathers left for you. And you keep them. That is the only inheritance. And there is a meeting that is done to transfer those chimbos. Now let's give. Okay, you can't write a will to say my firstborn must get the nobukeri, my secondborn must get the spear. There are no wills being read on graves when an African man is being buried. In fact, it's very rare to see an African person who knows how a will looks like. They know it's there, but they don't know how it looks like. Because on funerals, when an African man is being buried, after that, when they put him in the grave, there are always some vazukulus, some nephews who make an announcement. I go to bury people. Is there anyone who was owed by this man? And you see people lifting hands. Trouble. No inheritance. Can you see us after this burial? We want to hear how much this man, even you see the look from the uncle that is saying, I wish he can come back and pay his things. This man who is here, come and see us. Some of you, when your father died, it was debts that you had to deal with. The house was on collateral, a bank. That's why in Africa, when you want to buy a property, go to deeds office first and investigate if it's not attached to a bank loan. Don't just pay money. You buy a house that is attached to a serious bank loan. And you lose a lot of money after you discover that. Because the house is a house. Whether it's you who is now there, they want that money, you have to pay. They will auction that house. We are praying for a lot of people here that have got houses that, newspaper, it's full of houses that are on the hammer that needs to be auctioned. because the father misused the bank loan with the girls. One from Chimani Mani, Chipinge Nyanga, and Choloch. And it's called Bigas. You can't think on how to start your own thing. Every time an African child is going to school, it's for them to get a job. They want to receive employment. They don't know how to give it. Right now, your prayer as a youth is, I wish prophet can pray for me to get a job. But today I change my prayer. I pray for you to start giving jobs to other people. Become an employer. Become a giver. Employers are givers. We are tired of people applying to get something. Rebuke that spirit. Very good in Africa to do CVs, and some of them fake ones. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Why are you now switching off your phone? Because you don't know who will call. You are in debt. You are a servant. A lender is the master of the borrower. And the borrower is a servant to the lender. It's there in the Proverbs. Because anyone who gives, do you know why Africa is in poverty right now as I'm speaking? Because now, hear me very well. When a person living in the farming dimension gives you a loan, that loan has got conditions attached to it. When they want to give you a loan, they come and check what they can attach, and they tell you things to change. That don't do this, and this, then we are going to give you. So some of the things that you see kings of Africa changing policies, they are trying to align with the conditions of World Bank and IMF. And those things now, they begin to bind economies of our continent. I didn't know that there are people who buy even makeup on credit. A makeup kit on credit, for sure. Makeup on credit. Perfume, it's on credit. Better to apply lemons than getting a loan for a perfume, for sure. Now look at me. If you can get a loan for a perfume, what about for a business? If you can't think on how to get a perfume with your own money, you need a credit. Or even a loan from someone, borrowing someone. After payday, I went to Botswana sometime. I saw a man with 20 ATM cards in his hand next to a bank. 20 in Orapa when I was preaching there. And I asked him, why do you need? And he said, it's for these people. They owe me money. So a person comes on the ATM, he gives him his card, ATM card, and say, he will be having the PIN numbers, and say, can you right now give me my money? And that man maybe gets 19,000 pula. He goes back home with the 2,000. Even in the churches, people all over, they are doing those things. Right now, some of you rush back home. The moment I conclude the service, you disappear. Because you all 5 people inside the church. And that's why you are afraid to give offering. Because you are in bondage. Even when you have $10, you feel the Holy Spirit is speaking to you that you must give. When you look, you say, if I go and I give, if they see me, they will look for me after service. And now you have missed an opportunity to sow a seed because you are bound. I was saying in the morning, anyone in Africa who pays people money, who employs, is called Mukiwa. Murungu, Mukiwa, my Mukiwa. Why? And I used to think these Mukiwas and Murungus, when you look at them, you see a guy from Cholocho entering into, oh, this is the Mukiwa. Yes, this is the Mukiwa, my boss. We know. To salute boss is boss. How are you, boss? Boss, from today, let someone say boss to you. Let somebody salute you. Be a Mukiwa for someone. Be a Murungu for someone. Murungu wangu. Because they are paying something.